Unit 4 in communication theory describes about the noise characterization. Let me explain about the noise sources in this presentation. Communication system is shown in this figure. This consists of the information source, transmitter, channel, receiver, and the destination. The signal originates from the information source, will pass through the transmitter, and via the channel it will reach the receiver and then the destination. While passing through the transmitter, channel and the receiver, the signal will undergo a lot of disturbances which is called as a noise. Channel is the main source of noise. Apart from that, transmitter or receiver will also induce noise in the signal. So what is a noise? Noise is a general term which is used to describe an unwanted signal which affects a wanted signal. In electrical sense, noise may be defined as any unwanted form of energy which tends to interfere with the proper reception and reproduction of wanted signal. So this leads a lot of information loss. Hence, this noise needs to be suppressed at the receiver. So what are the effects of noise? The noise will degrade the system performance, whether it is analog or digital. Then the receiver cannot distinguish signal from the noise. Efficiency of the communication system will reduce. Noise is random in nature. So there are various sources of random noise. The first one is the internal noise source. This is internal to the communication system. And the second one is external noise source. So any noise source which is external to the receiver is called as the external noise source. Here we can see the detailed classification of noise sources. Noise source is generally categorized into two major types. One is external noise, which includes atmospheric noise, extraterrestrial noise, and man-made noise. Extraterrestrial noise is again divided into two types, solar noise and the cosmic noise. And the second category is internal noise, which includes short noise, thermal noise, and other miscellaneous noise like partition noise, flicker noise, and transit time noise. External noise sources. The first one is an atmospheric noise. So this noise, generally called static, and is produced by lightning discharges in thunderstorms and other natural electrical disturbances which occur in the atmosphere. Owing to its origin, it is in the form of impulses, and because such processes are random in nature, it is spread over all the radio spectrum normally used for broadcasting. Atmospheric noise thus consists of spurious radio signals with components distributed over a wide range of frequencies. It is propagated over the earth in the same way as ordinary radio waves of the same frequencies, so that at any point on the ground, static will be received from all the thunderstorms, local and distant. Extraterrestrial noise. This consists of electrical signals that originate from the Milky Way, other galaxies, and the Sun. This noise is subdivided into two types, solar noise and cosmic noise. So what is solar noise? Under normal quiet conditions, there is a constant noise radiation from the Sun simply because it is a large body at a very high temperature, over 6000 degrees centigrade on the surface. It therefore radiates over a very broad frequency spectrum, which includes frequencies we use for communications. Then the cosmic noise. Since distant stars are also suns and have high temperatures, they radiate noise in the same manner as a sun, and what they lack in nearness, they nearly make up in numbers. The noise thus received is thermal noise or black body, and is distributed fairly uniformly over the entire sky. We also receive noise from the center of our own galaxy, that is the Milky Way, and from other galaxies, and from other virtual point sources such as quasars and pulsars. Man-made noise sources. These are nothing but the industrial noise. The examples are high voltage power line discharges, electrical motor noise generated by armature and switching takes place in the motor, ignition noise in automobiles and aircraft, and at telephone exchanges where the switching takes place is a source of impulsive noise. Internal noise source. The internal noise is a type of noise which is produced by the active and passive components present within the communication system. This is mainly due to random movement of electrons in electronic circuits, and the major sources are resistor, diodes, transistors, etc. And this can be reduced by proper system design. The examples are thermal noise or Johnson noise and a short noise. Thermal noise. This is also called as Johnson noise or white noise. The noise generated in a resistance or the resistive component of any impedance is random and is referred to as variously as thermal, agitation, white or Johnson noise. It is due to the rapid and random motion of the molecules, atoms and electrons of which any such resistor is made up. Now the mean square noise voltage is V square is equal to 4kTBr whole square, where K is the Boltzmann's constant 1.38 into 10 to the power minus 23 joules per degree Kelvin. T is the absolute temperature or the room temperature. Then B is the noise bandwidth measured in hertz. R is the resistance in ohms. The thermal noise voltage can be calculated from the equivalent circuit of a resistor as a noise source generator. So the diagram from the diagram we assume that RL is noiseless and is receiving the maximum noise power generated by the resistance R. Under these conditions of maximum power transfer, the load resistance must be equal to the input resistance R. Then Pn is equal to V square by RL. This is nothing but V square by R. Since half the voltage, the input voltage is dropped across the resistor R, we can take that the V is equal to Vn by 2. So the expression will become Pn is equal to Vn by root 2 the whole square divided by R, which is nothing but Vn square by 4R. Therefore, the noise voltage Vn is equal to square root of 4 times R into Pn. But the thermal noise power is proportional to the product of the bandwidth and temperature. So Pn is directly proportional to K into T, or Pn is equal to KTB. Pn is the noise power, B is the bandwidth in hertz, K is the Boltzmann's constant 1.38 into 10 to the power minus 23 joules per degree Kelvin, and T is the absolute temperature in degree Kelvin. So if the room temperature is taken, it is 290 degree Kelvin. Here the voltage and current models of a noisy resistor is shown in the diagram. The first circuit, which is nothing but the resistor, the noisy resistor, which is connected to the voltage source. Vn is equal to square root of 4RKTB. The second diagram is a current source which is included, that is In is equal to square root of 4kTGB amps. When the resistors are connected in series, then the noise voltage Vn is equal to square root of 4kTB into R1 plus R2 plus etc. up to Rn. And the resistors are connected in parallel means then the noise voltage Vn is equal to square root of 4kTB into 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus etc. up to 1 by Rn. The sample problem is also solved here. Calculate the thermal noise power available from any resistor at a room temperature for a bandwidth of 1 MHz. So the given data are the temperature, that is 290 degree Kelvin, B the bandwidth is equal to 1 MHz, which is nothing but 10 to the power 6 Hz. Now using the formula for the noise power, Pn is equal to K into T into B, just substitute the values, you'll get 4 into 10 to the power minus 15 watts. Short noise. Thermal agitation is by no means the only source of noise in receivers. The most important of all the other sources is a short effect, which leads to short noise in all amplifying devices and virtually all active devices. It is caused by random variations in the arrival of electrons or holes at the output electrode of an amplifying device and thus appears as a randomly varying noise current superimposed on the output. When amplified, it is supposed to sound as though a shower of lead shot were falling on a metal sheet, hence the name short noise. For a PN junction diode, the mean square short noise current is IS square is equal to 2 QID into B, where IS is the short noise current, Q is the charge of electron 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb, then ID is the diode current and B is the bandwidth of the system. And this short noise is found to have a uniform spectral density as for the thermal noise. Apart from the short noise and the thermal noise, other miscellaneous noise sources are also there. First one is the flicker noise or the low frequency noise. This noise is observed below frequencies of few kilohertz and its spectral density increases with the decrease in frequency. For this reason, it is sometimes referred to as 1 by F noise. And the second one is the transit time noise or the high frequency noise. So this type of noise occurs when the current carrier, such as a hole or electron, moves from input to the output terminal in a transistor. We know the transit time effect. That is, the transit time is nothing but the time taken by the electron or hole or the charge carrier to move from the input to the output terminal of the transistor. And the last one is a partition noise. So this noise is generated in a circuit when a current divides between two or more parts. This results from the random fluctuations in the division. Additive white Gaussian noise. We know that the noise is usually additive and it adds to the information bearing signal. A model of the received signal with additive noise is shown in the diagram. So the receiver output is nothing but the signal plus noise. Why it is called as white? White noise. White light contains all color frequencies. The power density spectrum of a white noise is constant for all frequencies, which means it contains all frequencies in equal amount within the visible band of electromagnetic radiation. So when the probability occurrence of white noise is specified by a Gaussian distribution function, it is also known as white Gaussian noise. So that's all about the sources of noise. Thank you.